How do you order food for the office these days? How do you make sure it's on time and as ordered? How can you get it individually packaged? How? EasyCater. When you order on EasyCater.com, the food comes as ordered and on time 98% of the time. And when there's a problem, which is practically never,
thank you for calling EasyCater.
you can reach someone in about 9 seconds. How do you order 24/7 from more than 80,000 restaurants? How? EasyCater. Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2,901.
Along with Steve the Thrill Hill,
The Ted Smith, Robin Fox, and my cock, Montgomery. That's it. All right, in the men's room. On tap today, here come the bad jokes, bitches. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Get ready to play Profile This.
plus headlines, a men's room shot of the day, funable listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV time with Ted.
Clap. Drink it to draw. All right, here we go. Survey says MDMA makes octopuses want to touch each other in 8 different ways. Turns out when you're pranking a McDonald's, sometimes it really pays. $50,000 worth. Huh. 3 men in Wisconsin busted with monkey masks, guns, drugs, and money. When you read about woman hitting someone with a fanny pack containing a pigeon, you have to admit that's kind of funny. And Alexa will now bake your potato or make your popcorn. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right. In California, a father hired a repairman to fix something in his house. Don't know what. But imagine that father's surprise when he checked his security camera and saw the repairman going through his daughter's dirty laundry and sniffing her dirty underwear.
Oh, God.
Busted. A different dad, but still in California, he confronted a man who he caught taking upskirt photos of his 15-year-old daughter at a Target. Once again, busted. And I'm not saying the Target has anything to do with anything, but at a different Target, this time in Michigan, a 74-year-old man, he was caught masturbating in the parking lot. Not to be fair, he was in a Chevy Trailblazer, but two teenage girls walked by him, saw him, called the cops, and he was arrested. And then we have a fantastic collection of stories about people getting busted farting. You know, sometimes you think it's going to be quiet or you don't think anyone's around. A couple of Reddit users share their stories of terror when they discover that, well, maybe someone was within earshot when they were trying to sneak one out. See, you thought you were in the clear, but they were heard. Now, I have a similar tale that happened to myself earlier today right here in this very building. It was a wonderful moment. But listen, humiliation, it's real easy when you realize that someone was looking or listening. So you could be farting, masturbating, picking your nose, smelling things, singing in the mirror, taking a selfie, whatever it might be. So today, we have a men's room blank question. One time, someone caught me blanking.
Be part of the big show. Call 844-999-OLA. You can like The Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to themensroom@mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Oh, Michelle said, away we go. Welcome to show number 2,901. What a large and in charge program we have for you. A guaranteed future repeat, that's for sure, as the exciting return of Ted versus the FCC is coming up. I'm not sure of the record. Ted, I do believe you're in the winning column.
Oh, yeah.
On this year.
Sure, good. Confidence.
That is 2021. Again, this is a future repeat. Ted versus the FCC is on the way. Also, bad jokes coming up, and we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day, profile this, and all that. And today we're going to talk about when you were caught doing something. And we'll start with this story, and this is somewhat disturbing. A Playa Vista family is speaking out after their home security camera captured a repairman going through their hamper in their little girl's room.
Wait, listen, this is an ugly story. So I'm going to make one request. Can you play like the Disney, something at least positive in the background while you deliver this horrible stuff?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what you want.
I feel like that's balance.
Okay. All right.
The music says, hey, relax, everything's okay. And the story says, nothing's okay, the world's weird.
The man was seen stuffing a pair of undergarments in his pocket while he was supposed to be conducting repairs on the 3- and 5-year-old's bedroom. Quote, I would have never imagined that someone would do this. Cooper said the moving company they hired had left their floor scratched, so the firm paid for the contractor to fix the issue. My wife thought he might have been a little bit creepy. I didn't see any red flags. Shocked father said he was in another room when the repairman was there and only realized what had happened when he checked footage. The next clip I saw was him picking up a pair of underwear, one of my daughter's dirty underwear, turning around for the camera, but yeah, you can see him. He brings it right up to his face.
Smell it.
Stunned and infuriated. Cooper did complain to the moving company and filed a police report. He also phoned the repairman directly, letting him know that the camera recorded him sniffing his daughter's underwear, and he planned to share it with the news outlets on social media. Cooper then said he heard the man gasp, and he believes the repairman was going to try to apologize, but he said he told him he didn't want to hear anything he had to say. This gentleman violated a 5-year-old and 3-year-old's privacy, my family's privacy. Obviously, my wife and I are distraught over this, and we want other people to know. So there you go.
I think the music
on
helped.
The camera.
The music helped, man.
It brought it to
you know what I mean? It really
yeah.
did. That is so effed up, man. Especially, now, your wife's like, hey, man, he gives me the creeps. And like any of us, like, don't worry about it, man. It's fine.
You want
He's
to tell,
just here to fix the floor. It's no big deal.
You want to tell people what happened to you today?
Well, I didn't necessarily, but I guess I will then.
Okay.
Well, it's just all right, so I fart all the time.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone knows you fart. This is no big secret.
Yeah, but the people that know I fart. It's not like you're trying to let the world know.
Everyone listening to this show knows you fart constantly.
Right, and I would gladly fart around any of you. Honest to God.
I know that.
You fart a lot.
So I think we're in the tree on the story.
The person I saw today, however, does not know this, and I thought that, I've had bad guts all week, right? But I thought I could do a silent but deadly. So I walk into the lobby of our building. I walk over to our elevator banks, and the idea is, all right, I'm going to press the button. I'm just going to slowly one cheek sneak this bad boy out because I don't want it to follow me into the elevator because they've been especially bad, if you will. So I'm just going to time it out. I get on the elevator. All is good. I press the button. Ding. Elevator's going to be right there. Well, as it works in this building, just because the elevator dinged does not mean the elevator's there. It could be up to another 20 seconds, right? But the way it timed out, I didn't think this was one of those situations. So I'm going to let out this quiet one cheek sneak, and this is all I want to do. And instead, it's one of these, all right? It's like, Jesus Christ. So it's not the end of the world, but where our elevator bays are, there's a part where to get to the actual front doors of the building, you have to go around the corner. Well, lo and behold, someone peeked their head
Who is that
around the corner.
Do I know this
the way that they did in, South Park, when instead of saying naggers, he said the other. Remember the cameraman?
Oh, yeah.
It was like that.
Okay.
So they
really want me to say it.
They're looking at me. Clearly, I have farted. The elevator door opens at this point. So what I did was, like if there's someone else standing next to you and you want to pass the blame, you just quietly point at them. Well, that's what I did, except that no one else was down there.
Okay. All right.
Then got on the elevator and felt kind of stupid about myself. I just wanted it to be a quiet. This was not a fart. I wanted to celebrate.
And did it stink?
Oh, my God, man. It was horrendous.
I'll probably find some appropriate music for this one, too. This is...
what's the headline?
This is just from a Reddit discussion thread, and I never really thought this through before until I read this whole deal. And it was basically just some people on Reddit were sharing their funny, embarrassing, and enlightening stories about what it's like to have really bad gas and flatulence when you can't hear it.
Wait, they can't hear it?
So they don't know they're doing it?
Most of the deaf people who chimed in agreed that they can't possibly know if others can hear them breaking wind but most of them find out the hard way. I have severe hearing loss. I finally got hearing aids and realized that many of those silent but deadlies, they were just in fact deadly. Right. What's more, the family never clued him in, assuming that he knew and simply didn't care. I honestly did not know it made a sound until I was 9 years old, wrote someone else. When my 7-year-old brother told me, I asked him, why did you tell me sooner? He said, I thought you were doing it on purpose. I asked my mom, and she said she just didn't want to embarrass me. What the F, man? I did it even in school. No one told me. Others said that knowing they needed to cut the cheese could be scary and terrified due to this uncertainty, while at least one said he simply goes to the bathroom whenever he feels something brewing just to make sure. A friend of mine was speaking to a work associate that is deaf. During their conversation, the deaf man just kept on farting repeatedly. My friend was dying of laughter inside, but couldn't crack a smile. Another wrote in, my dad is deaf, and every summer we go camping with many other deaf people. One particular year, I was hanging out with my dad's girlfriend at the time and some of her deaf friends. In the middle of the conversation, she let a huge one rip. I was the only hearing one in the group. We were all outside, so I was the only one who knew. After the conversation was over, she asked me if I heard her fart, and we had a pretty good laugh. Yet another road. A friend of mine works with deaf people. He says they fart all the time whenever and wherever because they have no idea it makes a sound. One person remembered the terrible time he took his hard of hearing grandmother to church.
Oh, no.
The deacon was in the middle of a sermon, and grandma let loose. He recalled how her personal stink bomb, quote, reverberated off the wooden pew, stone floors, and walls all the way up to heaven itself. The sermon stopped momentarily. The deacon's mouth hung wide open as everyone turned back to look. But the deacon recovered quickly, and things carried on. Later in the car, my sister said, Grandma, what the hell was that? What? You farted. Oh, I thought no one could hear.
Yeah.
Our question, one time, someone caught me blanking, 844-9990.
Hello, Eric. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
I got a pretty funny story about getting caught while I was in my car with my former girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
Get it on. We were visiting her family over the holidays and staying there, and we couldn't do it in her house, so we just decided, let's go out in the car and find a secluded spot somewhere.
I wonder if that'll ever catch on. I wish I had thought of that.
So we went to the edge of a football field in the parking lot, and it was empty and dark, and so we thought it was perfect. We started going at it, and we got so hot and heavy, we didn't notice anything until we heard a tapping noise, and then we see a flashlight.
Oh, security guard's favorite thing in the world. This is why he took the job.
We're in the back seat. She's riding me. And as soon as that happens, she gets off, and you just see this mag light flashlight beam just right on, just right on it, just springing up in the air for everybody.
Are you guys playing chess?
I like what I see in there. Oh, they just keep staring. I'm a security officer. I can do this. You know, like
so after about 2 seconds of awkwardness of this flashlight beam, I pull up my pants and I crack my door open, and it's like an 18, 19-year-old kid in a security office.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know you're a security officer. You know what's going on in there. I mean, if you don't know what's going on in there, then there's something wrong with you. I would suggest this. Maybe wait for them to finish and things kind of clear up, and then casually stroll up if you feel like you need to say something.
Don't F here anymore.
Tap on the store and say, guys,
listen. The car was still moving.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know damn well what's going on in there.
What are you doing?
Instead of walking up like, I'm going to watch. You know what I mean? Like, if that's what you're into, you know, like, I mean, okay. But just because you have a security uniform on doesn't mean you're going to get up. You can walk up 2 feet away, shine the light on someone, and you're like, all right, guys, what's going on? You know what's going on.
What was funny was that about 5 feet behind him, I think staying out of the visual was like a 17-year-old girl in a security uniform.
Here's what I would... Okay.
They wanted to have sex on the football field, but you're cramping their style.
Here's what I would say, in general. randomly, football fields just don't exist. If you're in a city that has an NFL team, you know what you might be? You might be close to an NFL field. If you live by a college. But more than likely, if you just have a football field someplace, you're having sex at a school. So don't do that. You know what I mean? Because if you're on a college campus and you're having sex at a school, they have security. If you go to a high school that has a field, they have security. Sure. If you go to a middle school that has a field, they have security. Bottom line, 2 adult people probably should not be having sex in a school parking lot.
But you're going to because you want a parking lot.
You're better off going to a Target.
But almost any parking lot has a camera, but you're willing to take the risk.
I guess.
Because it's like, look, if they find you on camera and you had sex last night, my money said they're not going to call the cops and say, hey, this couple parked in the back corner of Target parking lot, go find them. Even the cops will be like, hey, man, did they do anything else? Right. No, we're not looking. So you hedge your bets. Like, you don't park directly
I think you're better off.
camera.
I think a school... a church.
Don't do anything at a school.
Don't
do anything at a school.
A school parking lot is just a bad place to be.
But see, I feel like
when you're near a football field, you know what I mean? You're in a school parking lot. So I say church parking lot, although it might be sacrilegious, is a better option not to get security guarded if you're going to have sex.
I'm going to tell you this. I would much rather do like grocery store or Target or strip mall. Just this. Sometimes a lot of people just abandon their cars, but typically like the strip mall or something like that, right? At the church, like, come on, man. If the car is there at 2 a.m. at a church, it's because someone else. When I'm done with them, then I go to the football field to get the other people.
Okay.
I feel like those two, it's just too obvious, man.
I'm with you. There's always going to be security at the football field, but like the church, like there's always some old lady watching.
You know my buddy?
There's always eyes.
You know my buddy used to park, man, and I thought this was kind of ingenious.
What, for sex?
Yeah. He bought like a 2-year-old Honda Accord.
Okay.
Which was a really nice car back then, right? And there was a Honda dealership literally 5 miles away.
He'd park at the dealership.
He would take his car and park at the dealership.
That is brilliant.
And man, they would go at it all night long. He'd sometimes park it in the front row. He didn't care. He did not care because the car was so new anyway. He parked it in the used car lot. Because they had a side.
That makes sense.
And then the flag's blowing and the lights were on. No one ever busted him.
You could have sex under the blowing inflatable man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, seriously.
Here you are.
Flopping around.
Right, he's flopping around. You're flopping around.
He'd angle it like the other cars were in there. He'd just park one more on the end.
That is such thinking, man.
It really was.
Why did you not impart this wisdom earlier? In all these years I've known you, like, that's something.
Well, I don't have a car.
Well, it doesn't matter, but something to pass down to your kids. Like, hey, man, listen.
Yeah, hey, kid, hey, daughter, you want to park? You want to have sex with your high school boyfriend? Man, do I got a plan for you.
Does she listen to the show?
No.
You're about to find out.
No. One time, someone called me blanking. I think she knows enough already. 844-999-OLA.
She's going to text you and tell you otherwise?
Man, that is such genius.
It is genius.
I never would have thought of that.
It's genius. Because it's like 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
Dealership's long gone.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Right, nothing looks out of place.
No.
That should have been on a beer coaster or something. I just feel like I missed that. All those times you struggled to find a place.
Any used car lot that you get on.
Damn.
It's a used car lot, like Jerry's used car lot, where he's got all kinds of cars. Or if it's not one specific kind of car, just freaking park it at an angle right up there with him, you know? I mean, unless everybody's got like an orange triangle flag on their, you know.
Even then it wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
no one's really going to know.
No, they wouldn't know. They figure it's a new car.
That car doesn't have a flag. Someone's effing in it.
They haven't detailed it yet. You know what I mean? They haven't got it ready for sale. It's new on the lot. Just came from the auction. Mike knows. One time someone caught me blanking. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Jason. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, I was about 17 years old, and my girlfriend was spending the night at my house, and me and her were in the living room at like midnight hammering it out. And
sounds so romantic.
All of a sudden the light comes on, and here's my brother.
How old's your brother?
He was almost 19.
All right. Okay. So it's an adult. It's an adult brother.
Yeah. So he just looks at us, and the only thing he says, he looks at her and goes, "Nice boobs." Walks into the kitchen and grabs himself something to eat and leaves.
Was he talking to you?
No, he was talking to my girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least he was complimentary.
Oh, nice boobs.
I mean, you don't want someone to walk in on you having sex, but that to me would be the least embarrassing. Like, because if nothing else, like, yeah, but I'm having sex. Like, I would rather you walk in while I'm having sex than masturbate.
I know, but you've already.
You know what I mean?
Like, okay, but you've already.
Because masturbation just says I am horny and alone.
Now, do I need a compliment though? Like, would that help you out? Like, if somebody walked in,
if you said, "By the way, dude, nice penis."
I mean, I did it to my brother once. Like, I walked in on him and his now wife having sex.
And what'd you say?
Nothing. I turned around and shut the door.
Okay.
You don't bring it up at Thanksgiving? To your niece and nephew, like, I've seen your mom's boobs.
Do you think that she knows?
Well, yeah, I saw them both.
Oh, okay.
Hey, guys,
did you make eye contact?
No, but they both came upstairs. Like, obviously, before they were.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah.
And then it was awkward that night. But honestly, I don't know that we've ever brought it up again. We just kind of like, oh, yeah, that happened.
That never happened.
Yeah. Well, to his credit, though, they were dating at the time.
Sure.
I mean, they must have gone down there and jumped right in the damn bed. Like, you know what I mean? They were just in the basement. It had only been a couple of minutes, and I went down there, you guys want a beer? And I was like, oh, man.
Can you imagine that's nothing like that anymore? Now that they've been married with kids, you know what I mean?
They've been married for a while.
Yeah, I'm saying probably
2 dogs, 2 kids.
Dude, there was a girl I dated, and we're sitting in her living room. It's a row house in Baltimore, dating her. She decides she's horny in this moment. Not kidding. She cuts a hole in the crotch of her jeans, all right? And then she's now sitting on me. So from the outside looking in, we're fully,
the MacGyver of sex.
clothed. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. All right, so this is happening, but then her mom walks into the doorway and talks to us for like 2 minutes because she thinks her daughter is sitting on my lap, which
she is. In all fairness,
she is.
But it's this weird thing because I can feel like I'm starting to lose interest, so to speak. You know, because sister mom going on about whatever, and I'm like, she really needs to go away. Like she really needs to go away. But she finally walked away. We finished our business, and I'm like, that was kind of awesome and weird.
And those jeans are ruined.
Didn't matter. They were ruined more than you think did. Jesus. Not just from the scissors, friend.
Yeah, I wouldn't go ruin a pair of jeans for you. But
she did.
Yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't do that for me?
No, hell no.
Really?
No.
You wouldn't cut a hole?
No, because like it's hard to find.
Keep it a little warm.
It's hard to find a good fitting pair of jeans.
Not for her.
It really is. You know what I mean? Like some, you think they're going to be okay, and then you get them home.
I'd love to have sex, but
they just don't seem to fit.
These are my favorite jeans.
I'm sorry. One time, someone called me blanking. 844-999-OLA. Hold the line. More calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bichola. You have entered the men's room.
Charges are pending against a 74-year-old man who police say was caught pleasuring himself in a Target parking lot. We go to Rochester Hills. It happened just after 8:30 Saturday outside of the Target store at Rochester and Auburn Roads in Rochester Hills. According to police, an 18-year-old and 2 14-year-old girls saw the man masturbating inside a green Chevy Trailblazer and notified their parents, who then called 911.
How come they never show that in the Chevy commercials? Like they're pushing hard during football season. Like with all of these other things you can do, you can masturbate in the driver's seat.
Like a rock. As hard as I could be.
Yeah.
Oakland County Sheriff's deputies responded to the scene and found the man with his pants undone and his genitalia exposed. So, yeah, he still was, he hadn't stopped by the time the police got there.
Well, he wasn't done.
He was taken into custody without incident while a crime scene technician collected evidence.
Come on.
From inside the vehicle. Back at the station, police say the suspect made admissions to detectives regarding the incident during his interview. However, due to his severe medical ailments and condition, the suspect was released pending the issuance of criminal charges.
What medical condition do you have that masturbating in public, they're like, well,
I don't know.
We'll let it go.
Okay.
By the way, we've got a few comments here. One of them is from a security guard regarding what you were saying, Miles. I think you'll like this guy. Says, all right, guys, I'm a security officer, and sometimes I have to lock up parking lot areas. And I've had to interrupt teenagers because I was on a time schedule. Now, I felt guilty. I laughed my ass off every time. I never asked what was going on. I just said, you got 10 minutes to get out. See, I like his stuff.
Oh, yeah,
right. You'd be like, dude, you know what?
It's last call.
Even then, I'd be like, brother,
I'm fine with that.
I only need 2.
Last call.
Yeah. I do it to junkies by my dumpsters.
What do you tell them? You got 10 minutes to get out of here?
Hey, dumpster junkie.
Okay.
Last night, I was like, first I was like, the music's too loud. People live here. You got 20 minutes.
You know what, man? But that's fair. That's fair. You go.
Just hanging out by the dumpster blasting music?
Well, they're obviously doing other stuff.
Okay.
You don't hang out by dumpsters just to listen to music.
Well, you don't. A few more. It says, when I was 13, I got caught stealing a box of condoms, which at the age of 13 is mortifying, from a Fred Meyer. My dad called me Rubber Boy for the next few years.
Rubber Boy.
Damn. And,
but are you more disturbed? Like, look, I'm happy that my son is using condoms. I'm not happy that he stole the condoms, nor am I happy knowing that he's 13 years old and sexually active.
But that's what it is to be a parent. You go, my 13-year-old son is sexually active. To his credit,
he's using condoms.
But okay, so here's your 13-year-old son, all right? You're not happy that he's sexually active, but you're not happy that he steals stuff. The flip side of this is, and I'm taking from the 13-year-old's argument, right? Now, he's still in trouble, but from the 13-year-old, I go, but Dad, before you kill me, remember one thing, I did steal, but I stole a box of condoms because I don't have the money to buy them, but still, it's so important to me to practice safe sex that I stole. And then I'll get in trouble. But even from a parental point of view, you go, huh. I mean, you're in trouble. But
he minimized the risk.
You minimize the risk.
I'll steal the condoms, but I don't want to get
But I want to go pregnant. Or he says, but it's Sheila, and she got stuff. And then finally, this last comment says, one time my coworker walked in on me at my old job in Oklahoma City taking a dump. The real problem was that this was a woman I was trying to hook up with.
Oh.
Needless to say, that never happened, and they quit the job. Thank goodness they did not call HR.
Did anyone go to the men's bathroom today and smell that one that just smelled like it might have been on fire?
No, was it bad?
It smelled like it had to have burned. I don't know who this person is, man, but they're having a tough time walking around.
I just came out of that bathroom, and I will say when I opened the door, it was ripe. It was not at the there's something wrong level.
This was
fresh.
This was definitely one that you could tell was a hot one. You know what I mean?
Right.
It had a burn to it.
It had to be alone. I'll tell you, the weirdest, in the old building we worked in, all right? We finished the show. I've had to take a dump, so I go and I sit down. There's only 2 stalls, and I just hear these footfalls. They run in. They're in the stall next to me. I get it. Whatever. They really got to go. And then in this weird Hispanic voice, because I've never heard this guy before, and I can't see him, I just hear, it's going to stink. Right? But then there's a pause. Because I don't know if he's talking to me, right? So there's this weird pause. Because I'm sitting in the stall, and I said, were you talking to me? He's like, yes, I'm sorry. It's going to stink. And then, okay, so he just started, and I've never had this kind of conversation. And he unloads.
You do you, man.
You can hear this thing going down, and I'm telling you, he was not kidding. Like, I stopped. I cleaned myself up. I got out of there, man. He was having a moment, but I've never had anyone warn me like, look, this is going to be worse. Oh, yeah, he knew.
He knew.
It's what I think.
He knew what was going on there.
And I thank him for that because it was unbelievable what happened. It was on the
courtesy
sound.
flush, man. Courtesy flush.
He didn't have time to courtesy flush.
It was that bad, huh?
It was, like, put it this way. Have you ever felt compelled to tell someone that your poop's going to stink? You know it's going to stink. He's warning me above what you expect, and he was not kidding. Like, you might want to leave.
Men's room blank question. One time someone caught me blanking. 844-999-OLA. Hang on the line there. More calls coming up in seconds.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.
How do you order food for the office these days? How do you make sure it's on time and as ordered? How can you get it individually packaged? How? EasyCater. When you order on EasyCater.com, the food comes as ordered and on time 98% of the time. And when there's a problem, which is practically never,
Thank you for calling EasyCater.
you can reach someone in about 9 seconds. How do you order 24/7 from more than 80,000 restaurants? How? EasyCater. Order 24/7 on EasyCater.com.